Everyone, welcome back to the last episode of this story, Temple Grounds. The next night, Jungkook passed restlessly. Sora, you trust him. Why are you afraid, Jungkook? Because the heavens don't play fair. You and love doesn't always win. Just then a sound and bursting through the trees, a glow in the sky. Jungkook turned. A figure stepped through the gate. A glow in the sky, Jungkook turned. A figure stepped through the gate. In white eyes, glowing green, Taehyung just, but something was different. He was glowing. Jungkook running to him. You come back? Taehyung smiled breathlessly. I told them I screamed in the throne room. He stepped forward and looked and took Jungkook's hand. Taehyung, I choose you. Jungkook quietly, they will hurt you. Taehyung, let them. He raised his free hand and from his palm a rush of light emerged. His divine power remained, but it was changed. No longer purely heaven's gift, it was his own. Sora gasped, you are still God. Taehyung, I am the god of spring and love is season I choose. Later that night, temple balcony, that stars shone brightly, brighter than ever. Jungkook and Taehyung sat wrapped in a single. This world was quite safe for now. Jungkook, they will come back. Jungkook wouldn't stop. Taehyung, then we keep standing. Jungkook, I'm not afraid of heaven, but I was always afraid I wasn't enough for you. Taehyung turned to him, eyes soft. Taehyung, you are my forever. What more could I need? He leaned in, resting their foreheads together. Taehyung, promise me one thing. Jungkook, anything. Taehyung, even if the skies fall, even if the stars vanish, don't let me go. Jungkook was breaking. Never. And they kissed, not like the first time, not like it might be the last, but like a promise sealed between a god and a demon, between spring and shadow forever. Temple courtyard. 1 week later, the world was blooming. Villages laughed again. Children ran through fields. Taehyung's flowers spread across the land like blessing from the good gods, but something was wrong. Jungkook was fading. No one could see it yet, but Taehyung could feel it in the way Jungkook's hand trembled slightly when he reached for him, in the way his shadow flickered slower than usual. His black wings no longer glowed like fire, they dulled like the last embers of dying flame. Temple garden. That evening, Taehyung stood with Sora watching Jungkook practice with his blade alone under the moonlight. Each swing of the sword was slower than the last. Taehyung quietly, he's not telling me, Sora gently. He's trying to protect you. He always has. Taehyung, but I have already lost him once. I can't. His voice broke. I can't watch him disappear again. Later that night, temple bedroom. Jungkook sat on the edge of the bed, breathless, after trying to control a burst of power that never came. Taehyung entered holding a cup of warm tea. Taehyung, you are fading, aren't you? Jungkook flinched. Jungkook quietly, I don't want you to know. Taehyung said beside him, you should have told me. Jungkook, your presence, your love, it healed the wound, but it burns away my nature. He looked down at his hands. Jungkook, I was born in chaos. My strength came from destruction. Now that there is peace, I am becoming something else, something weaker. Taehyung firmly, no, are not weaker. You are changing, Jungkook. What if I vanished completely? Taehyung shortly, then I'll vanish with you. Jungkook looked up sharply. Jungkook, don't say that, Taehyung, then don't leave me behind. 3 days later, ancient library hidden beneath the temple, Taehyung searched through scrolls older than the world itself. Dust flew with every step, every turn of a page. At least he found it, the soul binding ritual. In rare love between light and shadow, a divine and a demon may fuse their essence, sharing life, sharing power, becoming one. It was dangerous, forbidden, unpredictable, but it was the only way. Underworld, the age of shadows, Taehyung stood at the gates of the underworld. The air was cold, thick with the accent of lost. A voice echoes, underworld keeper, you came as a god of spring to beg for a demon. Taehyung, no, I came as his mate to save him. The gate opened. Inside, the keeper offered a deal, and the vault keeper gave him half your soul, and he may leave. Taehyung, without hesitation, take it. The next night, the ritual in the temple's highest tower under the full moon, Taehyung light 4 scared candles, one of wind, one of earth, one of water, and one for fire. Jungkook stood in the center, weak, slightly. Jungkook, you don't have to do this thing. I want to. You give everything to bring me back. Let me do the same. He stepped into the circle and took Jungkook's hand. Taehyung, do you trust me? Jungkook harshly. Always. They began to chant. Ancient words filled the air. Light brushed from Taehyung's chest, while smoke rose from Jungkook's hand. Their powers collided. One golden, one black, one. The ground trembled. Taehyung cried out as half of his divine core began to fuse with Jungkook's soul. Jungkook shuddered as something ancient and powerful filled him. Their hearts snarled, two pulse, one rhythm, and then silence. A wind swept the flames. They collapsed onto each other. Moments later, still night, Jungkook opened his eyes. First, his wings were back, but now tinged with glowing green at the tips. He looked at Taehyung, whose body glowed like morning dew. Jungkook softly, what did you do? Taehyung, I gave you part of me. Now we are the same. If you fade, I fade. Jungkook reached up and cupped his cheek out in his gaze. Jungkook, I feel alive. Taehyung, because we are one now. Next day, sunrise over the mountains. The people of the nearby village woke to see grow all night across the temple walls, but mixed with green were black roses, dark and beautiful, shining with dew and flame. A new season had arrived. Just temple balcony. Morning, Jungkook stood behind Taehyung, arm wrapped around his waist, chin resting on his shoulder. Jungkook, you could have died. Taehyung smiling, but instead I saved you. Jungkook, you gave up heaven to me, and now you have given me your soul. Taehyung, and I would do it again. Jungkook, seriously, I am yours. Fully, forever. Taehyung turned in his arms, and I am yours. In light and shadow, they kissed longer this time. Not desperate, not scared, just ethereal. Final scene. Jungkook stood at the edge of the heavens cloud, watching the earth below. Behind him, a young god whispered, "Young god, should we intervene?" Jungkook's eyes narrowed. "No, let them have their love story. I disown him from heaven." Temple garden, morning light. The world has changed. No more burning skies, no more cries in the wind. The lands Jungkook once now flourished with wildflowers, rivers flowing where as once covered soil. For the first time in centuries, the seasons were in harmony. And Taehyung, he glowed. The soul bond has stabilized Jungkook's fading core, blending spring and shadow into something new. Their power no longer fought each other, they danced. The people wished of it, the Demon King and the Spring God, reborn as one. Village below the mountain, day before the villagers bursted with excitement, once terrified of the Demon King. Now they set out offerings, green leaves, sweet fruit, bowls of rainwater at the foot of the mountain temple. Sora to Taehyung, they want to honor you, both of you. Taehyung is smiling gently. We don't need celebration, Sora, but the earth does. They say the blooming it happens once every 500 years. It's the time when all three realms, heaven, earth, and underworld. Jungkook from behind, sounds like a good day for vows. Taehyung turned to him, blinking vows. Jungkook stepped closer, gaze soft and serious. Jungkook, we have fought, blade, died, chosen. Then let the world witness temple gardens, night of the blooming, the moon turned silver, the sky held a strange shimmer, like the stars had come closer to watch. The temple was silent, filled with spirits, the inhuman alike. Nature itself gathered flowers titled forward. River paused in stillness, and a soft breeze carried the scent of blossom through the air. Taehyung stood beneath the ancient familiar tree, wearing robes and color of dawn, soft gold and spring green. His hair glowed under the moonlight. Jungkook walked towards him, dressed in black and silver, eyes glowing faintly. They met at the center of the garden. No priest, no chore, only the wind, the trees, and the sky. Taehyung raised his hand first, and with the flicker of his fingers, a stick appeared in the air, glowing lines of divine energy. His essence, his promise, Taehyung softly above, to never walk ahead or behind, but beside you in spring or in storm. Jungkook raised his hand, his sprinkling in the black fire, delicate, strong, and strong. Jungkook, I vow to guard your heart, not with blade or flame, but with my soul. I vow to choose you every lifetime. The sing touched a pause of energy, rippled out, shaking the ground gently. The tree above them bloomed thousands of blossoms. Taehyung, I give you my breath, my light, my life. Jungkook, and I give you my shadow, my strength, my soul. Their foreheads met their wings, when their lips touched, the sky above them brushed in colors unseen by the mortal eyes. A god and a demon, two of the bound soul, one love. Later that night, inside the temple, the villagers had gone. The spirits faded back to the trees. Only Sora remained, cleaning away bowls of water and petals. Sora grinning. Well, you are officially the most dramatic couple in the history. Taehyung laughing softly. Would you expect anything less? Jungkook is mocking. She is just jealous. No one would vote to follow her into the underworld. Sora mocking. Oh please, I would take myself to the underworld to escape your fluttering. They all laughed, but soon Sora excused herself, leaving the two of them alone. Temple bedroom. Later that night, Jungkook sat on the edge of the bed, quiet, watching the way moonlight painted Taehyung's skin in silver. Jungkook, do you ever miss heaven? Taehyung shook his head slowly. Only the parts I never had. Jungkook, I think I never really lived until you came. Taehyung climbed onto his lap, crawling into him like a breath returned to its lungs. Soon Jungkook moved towards his newlywed husband. They are husbands now, and one after so sharing and wedding vows. Jungkook kissed his god husband, his soulmate. They are going to share their love today. Taehyung whispering, and I never really bloomed until you burned the fear out of me. They still like that. No threats, no gods, no fading hearts. Just breathe, just warmth, just them. The end. Everyone, how was it? I'm going to start a new one that is going to be a longer story, and that is about uncle and nephew love story. Hope you will enjoy it. So comment me down if you are excited about the next story. Okay, see you again. Bye bye. Love you. Bye.